Hi Lana, welcome once again to Lana's Coach. So if you're a student, perhaps you have done your KCSE and you want to join any TVET institution in Kenya, and you're wondering how you can be able to go about applying for your Helb loan, right? So this is a right place to be, because I'm going to take you through some of the steps that you need to meet, or rather some of the things that you need to have for you to successfully apply for these particular loans. And if you're not a TVET student, maybe you are proceeding to university, also this particular process is going to be helpful, because this step by step process actually cuts across whether you're a TVET student or a university student, right? So earlier on we had already looked at this concept of how to apply for Helb loan, but today in particular I want to address those ones from the TVET, because people think that it's actually a different way of applying. No, it's the same way, right? So the first thing that I want us maybe to understand is, if you're a first time TVET applicant, that is, if you're a TVET student who wishes to apply for this loan for the very first time, then what should you do, right? So this is just a general step for everyone who wishes to apply for the Helb loan. So number one, you have to visit the website for the hef.co.ke to access the student portal, right? What I mean is, actually this is a website that we need to proceed to. So this is the website for the higher education financing, right? I'll be talking about maybe the new financing model, or rather how you can be able to understand all these concepts of how the government has transitioned from the old model to the new model in our future video. But for today, as you can see, the government or the higher education loans board has made it very easy for learners to actually do the loan application by just visiting this particular website. So once you're here, all you need to do is to go to your student portal, right, and you sign, right? So once you have signed in, then you'll have to go through the steps that I'm mentioning. So the first thing is to do it, to proceed and register here. If you haven't registered, you have to do it very, very fast, right? And you can see registration, there's some requirements that you'll need to have. You have to provide your ID number or Maisha card, select yes, and then you see proceed like that, right? So since I'm not a student, I won't really go past this, but I expect you to have these particular details with you. So the second procedure for the new applicant is to confirm whether you have your national ID, right? So within that particular process, you need to ensure that you have your national ID, right? Or you can also have your index, KCSE index, if you have not qualified to have your national ID. The other thing is to enter a valid email address and password so that you can be able to click register. That's what I've just shown you right now, right? If you are applying, then once you have registered, you'll get some activation link within your email, so you have to activate that so that you can successfully create your account. And of course, you need to enter a valid telephone number, right, where all these particular codes will be sent. These verification codes will be sent, and kindly remember that the verification code has some time span that it expires, so you have to use it very, very fast, right? So you go ahead and fill all your profile and update your biodata within the platform, right? And then you also need to give consent to towards collection of your personal data, because this is what the data protection law requires. Then you also need to read through the consent form to understand why they are collecting your personal data, and then check on that particular checkbox, of course, to agree with the terms. I believe as we are going through this, also you are doing exactly what we are saying. Then fill in the personal details, then you save to continue. Once all your details are complete, you are now able to submit your scholarship or the loan request. In this regard, it is a loan. So also proceed by accepting the loan terms and conditions to give consent for the processing, and also ensure that you update your guarantor details, right? Then provide loan payment information as per the fields provided. How will you wish to receive your your loan. Is it via bank or via mobile payment, right? So after that, counter check if your information is actually accurate, and then proceed and click submit your loan application. So up to this point, that's all we need you to do before we look at the key requirements. So should you be a TVET first time applicant? Should you be a university applicant? This is how you go about it. Remember, there's also a subsequent loan application procedures. So those ones are for the people who are doing it for the second time. So this one only applies for those ones who are doing loan application for the very first time. So therefore, let's look at the key requirements, right, that the Helb requires you to have, right? So first, you need to have a valid email address. So ensure that you are able to register your email address via Google. It's very free, and don't keep on recreating email addresses, right? Because if you recreate email addresses, you'll be required to provide different phone numbers, and Gmail or Google might block you from creating this particular email address. So email address should just be like your phone number. Once you have created it, ensure that you maintain it. The other one is to have a valid phone number. Now, this is important in this particular application procedure, and of course, as you have already mentioned, this is if you had requested your loan to be disbursed by mobile, then your number here is going to play a very critical role. So you must have registered this particular phone number by your name, right? I know someone is going to ask, maybe I don't have a phone number, what should I do? So you have to use your guardian, trusted person, or even your parent, so that if that money comes, at least you are 100% sure that you're going to receive it. Now, also ensure that you have your index or their KCSE or KCP index numbers for the year of examination. Remember, this is for the first applicants, right? Passport size photos is very, very important, right? And then have a copy of your national ID for loan application. You also need to have an admission letter. In my previous video, I had shown you how you can go about having an admission letter. So you can always check with the university or college to provide you with one, so that you proceed with this particular application. And of course, ensure that you have your parents' registered telephone number, right, which is very, very important. Also, you need to have your parents' national ID number. What happens, maybe if your parent is not with you, then I believe a death certificate will also be required if your parent is deceased, right? And of course, you need also to provide your birth certificate, just to ascertain that you are the one who is requesting this particular loan, right? Then you need to have two guarantors. Both can be your parents, and I actually, if it is possible, you can use both your parents or your guardian. So those particular ID numbers should be registered, and of course telephone numbers should also be registered for ease of this particular Helb loan application. So I believe that this information so far is actually important and is guiding you appropriately. And then lastly, you can have a copy of the sponsorship letter if you are sponsored in secondary school. So this should just be a backup, right, to fasten the Helb application process. So as I'd mentioned, nowadays it's very easy. All these things you do it online. I remember when we were doing our application, we were to go physically to the Helb offices, right? But should you have any further inquiry, always visit their website, and they'll always give you some kind of contact. You can always chat them, you can call them, right, or you can even write them an email. So should you find this information useful, ladies and gentlemen, kindly take a second or two, hit on that like button, and of course don't forget to subscribe. All right, thanks.